Okay, so today we're going to cover Chapter 6, Section 6, and today we're going to see inequalities in two triangles now. So the first one is called the hinge theorem. And the hinge theorem states that if two sides of one triangle are congruent to two sides of another triangle, and the included angle of the first is larger than the included angle of the second, then the third side of the first triangle is longer than the third side of the second triangle. I'm going to simplify this for you. So basically what we're going to look at is the angle measure in each triangle. The bigger the angle, the bigger the side. This was the theorem. The next slide has the converse. So here we were given the angle, which one was bigger or smaller, to show which side is bigger. Now you're going to be given the side to figure out which angle is bigger, and that's the converse. So the converse of the hinge theorem, if two sides of one triangle are congruent to two sides of another triangle, and the third side of the first is longer than the third side of the second, then the included angle of the first is larger than the included angle of the second. So now they'll give you the side lengths, and then you find the bigger side, and then the bigger angle will be across from that bigger side. So in this particular picture, if they tell you that GH is the bigger side, then I know that angle J is going to be bigger than angle M. So for example, let's say I put numbers on this. And let's say I told you that side length GH had a length of 10, and then KL only had 8. We're going to look at the numbers, find the bigger number, and then the angle across from that bigger number will be the bigger angle. So 10 is bigger than 8, so that's why angle J is bigger than angle M. In order to apply the hinge theorem or the converse, you need to find the congruent sides first. And then the included angle is the angle that's formed by those congruent sides.
Will they always tell you which sides are congruent?
You're going to have to look for the markings, or you're going to look for numbers. So they'll either have the same numbers, like one side might have a 5, the other side will have a 5. So you look for numbers or congruency marks. The other way you'll be looking, sometimes the triangles are going to be attached, and then that's where we'll use our reflexive side. So if it helps you to pull them apart to see it a little bit better, you can do that. So the first example, it says, given that D is the midpoint of AC and angle 1 is less than angle 2, what can you deduce? So in other words, they want to know which side is going to be bigger. Now, if it helps you to pull it apart so you can see it a little clearly, you can. Or we could just highlight over what we have here. So if it helps you to put numbers in for the angles, you could pick two angle measures that would satisfy this. So like I could put in and say, you know what, I think angle 1 looks maybe about 80. And angle 2 is maybe around 100. Just put two numbers so that you can see that angle 2 is the bigger angle. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight the angles we're talking about. So we have angle 2 here, and then we have angle 1. Now, notice in order for the hinge theorem to work, we need to find congruent sides. So this was given to you because D was the midpoint. So that split AD equal to DC. But then we also have this reflexive side. It's the same side in both triangles. So now, since they told us that angle 2 is bigger, and I said, you know what, I think angle 2 is going to be 100. Just any number that would make it bigger than angle 1, and angle 180. So again, you're going to look for the bigger angle, and then that will tell you which side is bigger. So since 100 is the bigger number, AB is going to be the bigger side, because it's across from the bigger angle, and this will be the smaller side. So the statement I can make here is that AB is greater than BC because it's across from the bigger angle. You didn't have to put in numbers. You could have just said, oh, angle 2 is the bigger angle, and this is the smaller angle. Whatever's going to help you to see that the bigger side is across from the bigger angle, and then the smaller angle has the smaller side. All right, so for this one, it wants us to fill in which angle is bigger. So they want me to fill in with a greater than, a less than, or an equal sign. This time, instead of congruency marks, they gave me numbers. So the angles I'm looking at here are going to be angle 1 and then angle 2. Notice since they're attached like this side is congruent, it's reflexive, and then they both have a 4 on this side. So now the two sides I'm looking at to figure out which angle is bigger, angle 1 is across from the 4, and angle 2 is across from the 3. So because 4 is greater than 3, that tells me that angle 1 is going to be greater than angle 2. So you'll fill in the greater than symbol there, because angle 1 is across from the bigger side. For the last example, it wants us to find the range of values for K. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to outline the two angles that it's referring to. So we have this one right here, which is the 5K minus 12. And then I have the other one, which is the 38. And what I'm looking for is the congruency marks, so I can see that this side and this side are congruent, and then they have the reflexive side that they share. So now I have to figure out which angle is bigger. Is the 5K minus 12 bigger than the 38 or vice versa? So I'm going to look straight across. So this angle is across from the 18. This one is opposite the 19. 19 is bigger than 18, so this tells me that 38 is the bigger angle. So the inequality I'm going to set up to solve is going to be 5K minus 12 is less than 38, because 38 is the bigger angle. I'm going to solve for K, add 12, 5K less than 50, divide by 5, and K has to be less than 10. Now, because I'm looking for an angle measure, I'm looking for an angle measure that's in between 0 and 38 degrees. So I also have to take care of the low end of it. So what I'm going to do is also solve 5K minus 12 greater than 0. So I'll add 12, 5K greater than 12, divide by 5, and K has to be greater than 12 over 5. So what this is telling me is K can have a value between 12 over 5 and 10, and we could put K in the middle. So K has to be a number in between, and this could be 2 and 2/5. So it's got to be a number in between 2 and 2/5 and 10. Now when you do the homework, it'll let you enter it as an improper fraction or as a mixed number. So when you're doing the homework and you're doing these inequalities. We're going to show work for 9, 10, 11, and 12.